Hey guys, here's my follow-up video where I am going to be running my backup generator on natural gas. I've shown videos of this thing running on gasoline, propane, and now that I have my quick disconnect natural gas set up, I can actually test this on natural gas. So let's go take a look at this whole system and how everything works. So first thing to note, I want to run my generator in my backyard. I just didn't feel comfortable keeping it out near the front where where the ideal location would actually be in terms of just distance to the meter and to my electric panel and all that. That is actually on the side, but I decided that I want to run it back here. So the first thing to note is I had to get a really long extension cord and a really long natural gas hose. So we could go see that running out this way. It would have been nice if I could have set up maybe a generator shed or something like that on the side here, but unfortunately my house has very narrow side yard. I have maybe at most 4 feet from my wall to the fence, and if I were to set anything up here, I would not really be able to get my lawnmower in and out. So here's where it connects to my natural gas. This is a quick disconnect that I put together last time, and here is my generator inlet port. So let's plug that in. So yeah, the reason why I didn't want to put this thing out here is because the street's right there, and I know if someone's really motivated, they could still, go to my back and just steal the generator. But I just didn't want somebody to be able to drive by and take the generator. So I decided to keep it in the back. So let's review everything that I did. So what I did here was I installed a 3/4 inch diameter hose. The reason why I went with this is to size it somewhat appropriately to the generator. Just in case anybody's interested to know on how to do those calculations, the way to size it is that you want to make sure that there's enough fuel capacity going to your devices. So there's the right way to do it in terms of making sure everything's able to run, and there's a shorthand that you can sort of do if you're just worried about emergency power, and you're assuming that you're not going to be running everything else at the same time. So basically, since I'm tying it directly from the meter at this T here, I'm not worrying about the rest of the load, but there's calculations for all that. The simple calculations and the rough calculations that you could do to tie in the generator is seeing how many horsepower the engine in the generator takes. If I go back, so if we look at my generator, we see that it's a 420 cc sized engine for the generator. As far as I could tell, I could not find any horsepower ratings for this generator, but what I was able to do was I was able to look up a similar size generator or a similar size engine, and I found that Predator sells also a 420 cc engine. That's a OHV type engine, which is the same as this. It's very important that you make sure that it's the same type of engine, and they rated that at 13 horsepower. So I used that as my figure for calculating how much gas or how much natural gas this thing would take. So according to Motor Snorkel's website, for every 1 horsepower, that the amount of natural gas you'll need is about 10 cubic feet per hour, CFG or CFH. So based off that, I need about 130 CFH, assuming that this thing could run a full load or whatnot. To determine how much that is going to provide with my hose, what I did is I looked up the International Fuel Gas Code. They have a nice table in there, and this is only a very rough estimate because there's a lot of factors that affect this, such as the temperature, the pressure of your lines and whatnot, and even the fact that I'm using a rubber gas hose instead of a metallic pipe. But this will give me a rough estimate. So if you look in the code book in table 402.4, there's two versions of this. One is for a 0.3 inch water column pressure drop, and the other is a 0.5 inch water column pressure drop. You can go down and see how much cubic feet per hour you can expect with the length of the hose. So my hose is about 80 feet, and my diameter of the hose is 3/4 inch, so that would be around 89. And if you look at the other one where it's a 0.5 inch water column, you can see that that would be around 117. So under these different conditions, I'm probably looking at somewhere between a 20 to 30% reduction. I'll do the math and I'll put it in the in a caption below. But I'm probably not going to be able to get full power, but I'm going to go test that and see what happens today. So we're probably looking at being able to produce maybe 5,000 to 6,000 watts on this, assuming that we could even it's a one-to-one conversion, which generally it isn't. If you look at all the other dual fuel generators, they always they rate the propane or rate the natural gas lower than running gasoline. But yeah, I mean, we're here to test and see what actually happens with this thing, so we'll give it a shot. So yeah, that's how you determine what size you need. So I mean, honestly, if I wanted this thing to be able to run at full power, I probably could have gone up to a 1-inch diameter hose, but yeah, it just gets more expensive. And also on the other side, I did not want to take apart everything there. I just wanted to be able to tap into the service port, which was already there. All right, let's turn this on and see if it works. Okay, gas is going through the system. All right, let's start this thing up. I'm going to push the primer. So just to note, if you have a long gas line like I do, you might have to hold the primer for a little bit until you smell gas. There's going to be a lot of air in there that you'll have to purge, and don't be afraid to hold it until you smell gas. So let me go start up right now. So you might have to adjust the fuel block. Alright, we'll switch over the house from using utility power to generator power. There's the main going off. And this is our interlock kit to protect from backfeeding. And here is our backfeed breaker. So we currently are in generator power. When I pull out my sense energy meter, we see that we're taking around 460, 470 watts, which isn't too much. I'm gonna try to turn on the oven and see how much power we end up taking. So this oven is electric. Oh, there it got kicked on. We're at 3,000 watts right now. I want to see how much I can max it out at. I will try turning on the microwave too. Alright, we're at we are dying. Everything's flickering. Let me go check the low block and see if I can go give it a little more gas. So I'm trying to adjust the low block to see if I can give it some more fuel. Probably going to be hard for you to see that, but the voltage is fluctuating a little bit. We're still at 60 hertz. Let's see if we could do 5,000. I have the microwave and the oven on at the same time. I don't know if you can hear that, but you could definitely hear the generator working really hard. Oh wow. Okay. It spiked up to almost 6,000, but things started flickering. I'm guessing around 5,000 is as much as I can go expect from the generator. It does not sound like it's happy doing too much more than that. Alright, so now I'm gonna give it a try with the HVAC, see if we can get the AC on. I really highly doubt it, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to turn off all the breakers in here until we only have the furnace, so powering the blower, and then turn the AC on. Okay, so we could see I cut power to everything. I'm only pulling 27 watts. Let's go turn on the AC. We'll start by turning on the fan. We'll set this on AC mode. See if the fan kicked on yet. Fan is coming online. AC is trying to come on. Alright, so I don't know how we did it this time, but the AC was able to start without any issue. When I turned on the fan, shortly after that the AC kicked on and it was showing that it worked. If we look at the easy start status, the last start was, I guess it was just really easy. I don't know if it's the weather conditions or whatnot, but the last start, it was only 38.8 amps to start that. So I was able to start it on natural gas, which is really great. So we could look at the energy usage. So this is just basically the HVAC and nothing else. I've shut everything else off. It's only taking 2,667 or so watts. So that's really good. So I'm going to turn everything else back on. Let's see what's our energy usage now. So it jumped by maybe 500 or so, 600, 700 watts. I guess my current energy usage in the house is about 700 watts. So one last check. Let's see if heat works. We'll turn the heat on. It's going to be a little bit interesting when running heat because I'm not really worried about the wattage usage of the heat, but the fact that I'm running both units now on the same natural gas line, it could affect how much gas I have available to run the generator. So I think the heat just kicked on. It doesn't seem to be affecting the generator too bad, or at all. I think the issue will happen, if there is any issue, if I'm like using 3,000 or 4,000 watts and I also have the heater running on at full blast. Alright, so that's the blower running right now. Yeah, looks like everything's good. Alright, so we're going to switch the house back to utility power, turn off the generator, turn back on utility power, and then we just turn this off and let the engine die out. And then we could remove this, close that up, and we're all done. So one thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be removing this handle here so that somebody doesn't just walk by and accidentally turn this thing on. This is in the front of my house, and I don't know if anybody would just come by and actually turn this thing. So without that handle there, they'll make it so that a random person can't just turn this thing on. I mean, it's just an extra safety precaution. Even with this thing on, with the quick disconnected, it still keeps gas from coming out, but I just don't want anybody messing with this. Of course, if somebody's well motivated, they can just steal gas from me, but this is just for an extra safety precaution in case somebody just walks by and wonders what's this handle doing sticking out in the middle of nowhere. Alright guys, so I am pretty happy with my setup. As long as Texas doesn't run out of natural gas again, I have unlimited fuel for my generator. To recap, we were able to run a pretty heavy load. I think we were able to do 5,000 watts comfortably and probably around 6,000 watts peak, which is more than enough. We were able to get the oven running, which is, you know, a major appliance, as well as have, you know, all the lights and everything going at the same time. I even managed to get the oven and microwave, though I don't think I'm going to be doing that in an emergency situation. I got the AC running, which was amazing. I'm just trying to think of the things that changed since I tried it on propane, because I was surprised I couldn't get it working on propane, but I was able to get it working on natural gas. I'm guessing maybe it's because I literally turned everything off. Maybe that extra 500 to 700 watts of power made the difference. Or maybe it's just because of the weather, it wasn't, the condenser was able to start easier. In any case, I'm happy I was able to get the AC working, the heat working, and everything working. So basically, I have everything I need. Um, with the amount of power outages I have, this thing works just fine for me. I really only have an outage maybe once or twice a year, so I'm happy to just store this in the garage, in the attic, and take this out, that 1 or 2 times. It is a bit inconvenient in that, like, it's not going to kick on it immediately by itself. I have to lug a whole bunch of hoses and wires out. But I think for the amount I spent on it and the rarity of me getting a power outage, it works well for me. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thanks for coming with me on my journey. Set up my generator on all different types of fuel. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more projects that I do. I'm thinking that in the coming weeks or months, I might just do a recap on everything that I've done, maybe even give you guys a spreadsheet of a breakdown of the costs and everything. So if you guys are interested in setting up something like this for yourself, you will have all the information that I have. Thanks for watching, and thanks for just being a part of this channel. Have a good one. Bye.